I just came out of the cinema from watching the Thunderbolts, and it was such a breath of fresh air. I have been on and off on the MCU train since Endgame. The only movie I felt really did an impact on me and was entertaining through and through was Spider-Man 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Beside that, it's been both bad and just simply okay. When I first heard of this movie, I wasn't excited at all. Once I saw the more artistic trailers on TikTok and the fact Red Guardian was gonna have his own car and be a bigger role than I expected, I was interested in giving it a shot. I didn't expect a fantastical movie that would do everything right. That's unrealistic, and they can't really hit the heights of Civil War or Infinity War. Yet it was moving. It respects its characters and the jokes feels in place with each respectable character, yet it doesn't stop the more emotional beats since they also dive into depression, anxiety and bipolar, and since it dives into the mental health, it's an emotional yet thrilling movie with a few action scenes, but mostly the drama is at place. This feels like the good old days of the MCU, where you don't feel like they were just focusing on building up the next movie before even finishing the current one. Having seen a good chunk of these movies that these characters first were introduced in does help you out with the context of each character. I would at least recommend watching Black Widow, which is a pretty decent movie if you ask me. Of course it has some bad CGI, but let's not dive too much into this. So, the story. The team has a lot of issues, everyone struggles with something. They team up and find comfort in being together. Yelena is the focus of this movie. She's Thunderbolt's version of Iron Man, if you will. She struggles with finding a purpose in this bleak world. After losing her sister, she has joined Valentine and working in the dark. Now it's been a few years and she wants to do more good guy work. So she asked Valentine to stop giving her these mercenary jobs. Valentine promised her that if she does this one last mission, she will get more good guy work. During that mission, she gets in a fight with Taskmaster, US Agent, Walker, and Ghost. They have some cool fights against each other that shows their powers very well. We also meet someone named Bob that if you have watched the trailers, you know exactly who it is. The fight against them feels a bit too quick. I also felt the jokes were a bit all over the place at the beginning. Yet once they start working together and feel more like a found family, the movie gets better. The way they bond is by their trauma from their past, which you get to see in other Marvel movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Black Widow, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the show. So, as I just mentioned, it's a good idea to maybe watch those movies, at least Black Widow. Yet when they start teaming up and meet Red Guardian and Bucky, it becomes quite emotional and entertaining. It has some cool action scenes, but it focuses more on the drama rather than the action. You get to see every part of the team work together and show their powers and personality. There's jokes, as it is a Marvel movie, but it feels like it's written for the character's personality, similar to Phase 1 Marvel, especially the first Avengers movie, which this movie is very similar to, yet not that good, but still close. They're getting there. As I mentioned, this movie dives into mental illness, and I felt seen. Having some issues myself, it was nice to see representation that doesn't demonize mental illness. I felt emotional as the conversation between Red Guardian and Yelena happened. It was done so well, and during this movie, not just the conversation between them, but generally, I felt touched and started crying. And I feel like that is always a point to a movie that is as bleak as this is. Now, the cast. Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, was the lead role and did brilliantly. I liked her a lot in the Black Widow movie. She set the mood right away perfectly and gives you a lot of proof why she deserves to take her sister's role as the Black Widow. She has a conversation later with Red Guardian, as I mentioned, that was so moving and made me cry. And some people might find her way of acting as boring and maybe a bit bad, but she deals with depression, and at least for me, I know when I'm in that dark place, you kind of can feel yourself being a bit bored generally, and it makes sense. Like, you're tired of your life, it's boring, so why would you seem not bored? So I think that's kind of a stupid critique. Regardless, Red Guardian is the quite opposite. David Harbour is brilliant as he has been in both Stranger Things and The Black Widow. He was such a treat in this role. Ever since I saw him in Stranger Things, I found him so believable playing a dad with issues, a dad that's trying. It's also kind of goofy that he plays a Russian character, as for it being the villain partially in Stranger Things. Once he shows up in this movie, he is a treat. He does become the dumb character with a heart, and I'm all for it. He plays so well being a washed up hero from the past, trying to show his daughter that even though they're losers, they're still worth something, and there's still people that care. I love him, and I hope he stays in this universe for some time. Bucky, played by Sebastian Stan, I have found this character so good. Like, I was not happy they tried to act as if he wasn't Winter Soldier and like the mystery in the Winter Soldier movie. Yet he just fits it so well. It's like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. It's perfect cast, and he's such a lovable actor. He seems quite fun to talk with, and that's always a plus. He has some action scenes in this movie, and it's amazing. I was smiling through the whole scene, and he's so hot, he's so perfect, and I can't wait to see more of him, because I feel like they have sidelined him ever since The Winter Soldier, and he's been kind of like in the background. Even in the show, I didn't feel he got as much attention as Sam Wilson got, so it's nice to always see him get some more attention and care. Though he isn't in this movie as much as I expected, yet he did show up and did do a good job and was entertaining. Where I felt it lacked a bit was in the villain, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Sorry if I butchered it. She plays Valentina. She was first showed in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, if I remember correctly. You don't get to see a lot of her like reasonings for being this and that. She seems a bit two-dimensional of a villain, and it's nothing wrong with that, but it would be nice to see some more backstory for why she's like this. She also in the beginning seemed very dumb, like she had a line that she like, oh, this never happens, and then like, oh, this happened. And it was kind of one of very few like jokes that just seems a bit like too marvelly for me. At that moment I was like, oh please, just don't let this become like what this movie is gonna be. If it were that, I would actually leave the cinema, but it was just a bad joke for me. It just didn't hit me as well. She still did a good job, and is a good actor, and she plays well, and I kind of like what they did with her, yet they could have done more, if you get what I mean. So for a conclusion, wow. I will say this was not peak MCU. However, it is a movie where they have a voice and a purpose. It respects its characters and their struggles. It will hopefully help mental illness get a better representation and understanding for people that isn't struggling with it and doesn't get it and sees it as bad excuse or just people making up shit. I will definitely rewatch this movie, and that is more than I can say about other newer Marvel movies beside Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Quantumania was such a letdown, and this is by far a better movie. It's like if it wasn't in the Marvel universe, I think people would give it a better treatment because people are just tired, and this movie should have come out way sooner. Like after the snap and after Endgame, like this should have been one of the priorities of movies that would come up. This is something people were asking about then. Now people are too tired to even give it a try and seems so dismissive that even if it just has a slight hint of bad jokes, it's bad. And I feel like it's a shame because I've always been like, oh, I'm disappointed in the MCU. I'm disappointed in Marvel, disappointed in Star Wars, but I'm not actively hating it. I don't want to hate it. I want to like it. So when I see this movie, it gives me joy. It gives me a smile because it actually feels like they're giving a shit. They're caring, and that's so nice. And it's such a shame that people seem to not get it, and some people are just bad faith movie critics that just talk shit because they want to talk shit. Like the Critical Drinker, I watched some videos about that and I was like, oh my god, what an idiot. Anyways, I think like I feel the same way with this movie as I do with Black Widow, which I haven't watched in a while, and I kind of want to watch it now because of the characters, not because of the actual story there, because the story, the villain and everything there is bad. It's terrible, but I love the characters there and the mood. And the same goes here, except the villain actually is better and makes sense and is taken a lot more care in. Yet the issue the Black Widow and this movie has together is the fact it's coming way too late. The Black Widow movie came out in like 2019, 2020, 2021, I think. I don't remember. Regardless, it is set in 2016, right after Civil War, yet it came out after she was dead. It's this most stupid thing that happened. And this Thunderbolts movie makes sense with the fact that we have all these shows that came out after COVID and stuff. Yet I feel this movie shouldn't have been delayed. It would have gone to become a better received movie maybe. It's odd because I feel like it has gotten a lot of praise, yet there's people that are complaining, and I think the people that are complaining and just tired would have liked this movie if it came out earlier. Maybe I'm just rambling. Anyways, I watched this movie. I am still interested in watching Fantastic Four. They had a trailer before the movie started of Fantastic Four, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna hit so well, because I love the old Fantastic Four movies, not the one with Michael B. Jordan and It's Fantastic. Say that again. But like those movies before that, they were good. Dr. Doom, no. And I'm not happy with the fact that RDJ is gonna play Dr. Doom. Hopefully he's not gonna show his face and it's just gonna be a one-time off just to get people in the cinema. And I can accept that as long as we get an accurate representation of Dr. Doom later on. Regardless, if you have watched this movie, then tell me what you think in the comment section. If not, then I hope this video at least gave you an answer whether it's worth it or not. Anyways, thank you for watching and see you all next time. Bye!